Okay, so there's um, there's three or four things we want to just kind of say very quickly about the class. Is that you know one of the things that um, we're helping everyone to begin to understand is more complete insights, and we want to explain what we mean by that in just very briefly, if that's okay. Can you hear us all right?
Yes, this is great. Is this being recorded?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, great. Okay.
You see, um, the best way to understand how insights are produced is they're the sum total of everything that you can allow yourself to be conscious of at any one moment around some difficulty. Now, I want to repeat one part. Everything that you can allow yourself to be, everything that you can handle consciously. Now, do you understand what we mean by that? You understand what we're talking about?
Everything that I can understand consciously
No, well,
is related.
yeah. We at
It's
first,
related to my insights.
first we said everything you can understand, but then later we used the word everything that you can handle, and what
Okay.
what we're referring to is in the past you learned how to practice avoidance. You remember when we used to chat about the uh, there are some things you just didn't want to see.
Yes.
Yeah, because you see, if a person allows themselves to see something, then it implies a responsibility.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's sort of, we want to say, the opposite of it is an advanced form of denial. It's actually a conscious choosing of what you know you won't be able to, or think you won't be able to act on it. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
So we appreciate you kind of giving this little long explanation for you, because you see what over a period of about 12 years you had individual instruction, through Dale, with Dale, and with his ritual community, as he called it, on how to handle grief.
Yes.
And so the amazing thing is that the more, you see, grief is being able to consciously remain in a state of unresolution.
Oh, yes.
And many people will think, and very often there'll be, tears or break breakthroughs that have a lot of that. Could, that's more like the finish of at least a portion of a grief process. But grief really is being able to live one's life in the face of uh, things that one cannot do anything to change. For instance, when a close, when someone close to you dies, grieving is somehow attempting to go on, although there's nothing anyone can do to replace or return this person back to physical form.
Yes.
And what we're attempting to show you is that, you see, again, many answers, particularly in grief dilemmas, grief puzzles, there is no conscious responsibility. There is no conscious answer. There's nothing other than, and there's this word acceptance. And in a minute we'll explain why we wanted to, explain all this with you. Is that being able to look at something you cannot change and not let it damage your own plan your own ideas. That is the maturest level of handling grief.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yes, there is nothing one can do to change another's thoughts or something like that. There's nothing one can do to change the circumstances, and yet being able to understand and not allow the self to sink into action stopping depressions.
Yes.
So what, now this is a more complicated explanation of the technique that we taught this week.
Okay.
Because you see, anytime that there is what we want to say is that when one approaches the sacrificial altar, then what they're saying is they recognize their smallness. They recognize the lack of ability to change certain circumstances. And they're turning loose of this and giving it to a higher power. Okay?
Yes.
Now the funny thing is, in terms of hold on one second, please.